Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Rangers review. Let's shimmy that camera around a wee bit to get you in, Chris. Welcome to your team news reaction video live from the Man United press conference room. As you can see behind us, Chris is sitting in the seat that Big Phil will be sitting in later on. Let's hope that he will be waxing lyrical about his side's performance tonight, Chris.
Is that me or Big Phil?
yeah. Well, let's talk the team, because that's why people are tuning in, of course. And the teams have literally just dropped here at the ground, and this is how Rangers will line up. No real surprises as Rangers set up. The big sort of call, I think, is in goals. Jack Butland has returned after returning to training. He replaces Liam Kelly in between the sticks. The back four consists of James Tavernier, Leon Balogun, Robin Propper, and Jefte. A midfield of Nico Raskin and Connor Barron, in for the suspended Mohamed Diamande, with Cherny, Ridvan and Igman assisting Hamza. Cherny, Ridvan and Igman up top. The Rangers substitutes bench is a very youthful looking substitutes bench. Tom Lawrence, of course, as we know, back in the matchday squad against his former employers. He's joined by two goalkeepers in Mason Munn and also Liam Kelly. Cyril Dessers is on there, as well as is Kieran Dowell, Zach Lovelace, Leon King, Ross McCausland, Bailey Rice, Finlay Curtis, Paul Encio, and Xander Hutton as well. Chris, your thoughts on tonight's team?
I think it's as we discussed on the show this morning. I think we've got it spot on. I don't think we can take too much credit for it, because there wasn't really that many options. Not the most. I know somebody's joking about how difficult it can be to actually pick a Clement 11, but I think this time it was always going to be slightly easier, just because of the number of players that were out. He also sat in this room last night and he said that he would be without 8 players. That's going to take a lot of quality and take a lot of options out of the squad. So I think the team is as expected. No surprise for me that Jack Butland comes back in and which is Liam Kelly and goals, and the rest of it is as we believed. I think that's the best Rangers side that he could have picked. And I think the only downside, again, as we touched on this morning, you look at the bench, not a lot of options there. There's not a lot you can say, well, if the game needs it, who are you turning to? You can't really turn to Lawrence, having not kicked the ball for as long. You're not really looking to turn to Dowell or McCausland to go and change the game for you. It really is Dessers for Igman is the only real change that you can make. So that's obviously a negative. But I think that lineup is the best one that he could have picked to go and try and get a result here.
Yep, a few comments coming in. John with the point: did any of you predict it? I think we both predicted it. In fact, I rustled up the team that I thought it was before they dropped, and it is bang on. So I think, Clement did touch on it in his pre-match press conference in terms of players that he has at his disposal. He's not blessed with options. I think Diamande being suspended is a big blow. I think he would have started, no question about it. The back line is the back line, and ideally you've not got the two left backs on that flank. Sonic Boom says, I think maybe the other way around with Jefte and Ridvan. Well, that's the way he went against Spurs. Can't see him changing it for this match. Can you see it, maybe Jefte playing further up and Ridvan at left back, Chris?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think Jefte has filled in that. He's made that left back place his own over the course of the season. He's been really impressive in his first campaign here. I think he'll continue in that left back slot. Ridvan, again, as we touched on this morning, he's filled in a number of different positions over the last few weeks. He's done well. Overall, playing right back was difficult for him. Excellent in the Old Firm game. A couple of below par performances after that, but I think he's shown that he can play in that wide left role. Obviously, there's no Hadji in the squad. There's no Danilo in the squad. There's no Oscar Cortes through injury, so options on that left flank are really limited. But get no real fear with Ridvan going in there. You look at the threat that United could pose from the wider areas. I think having someone who's maybe slightly more defensively minded in that slot is not a bad thing at all.
Yep. As we touched on, Leon Balogun, I think no surprise to see him coming back in. Clinton Enciala not available for this game. I don't think he would have started anyway, despite impressing of late. The midfield of course, it is what it is. Looking at the front line, of course, Hamza Igeman is a guy that Rangers will be putting their hopes on in terms of causing some problems to that fragile Man United defence. And this is a match, I think, Chris, that I want Rangers to go out there. What disappointed me when they went to Anfield a couple of seasons ago was I felt that Liverpool were possibly there for the taking. I'm not saying Rangers were going on a Monday game, but I just felt they were perhaps overawed by the occasion. I don't want the players to go out there, look at the surroundings and being overawed by it. Man United are there for the taking. I would like to see Rangers going out there and really asking questions from the off.
I think certainly if you listen to or you watched their press conference yesterday, a lot of questions at Maguire and Amorim about playing at Old Trafford, about the crowd, about this nervousness that the manager continually referenced. And he said they do have problems here. They do find it difficult to play at Old Trafford. If Rangers don't go at them, not go gung ho and be daft with it, but Rangers have to start positively. They have to start on the front foot. They have to look and try and cause any problems, even the first 10-15 minutes, even if they don't score. If they can just ask a few questions and then maybe puts a bit of doubt in that United side, puts a bit of doubt in this crowd, and that's what they have to do. It sounds the type of thing that we always say with other teams coming to Ibrox. Can you cause Rangers early problems? Can you turn the home crowd against them? Rangers find themselves on the opposite end of that equation this time, and if they do start positively, then that would give them a real foothold. And if they do somehow get the first goal, then that would also be a dream start for them. So I think we'll be able to tell quite a lot about Clement and how he set the side up in those opening exchanges. Again, he sat here last night and said, "I'm not someone who likes to park the bus. I'm not that. That's not my style." I think he'll be good. I think he'll be true to that word. I hope, because I think that's the best way that Rangers can go get a result.
Yeah. We'll give you the Man United team shortly, folks, but there's a couple of points I wanted to flag up. Listen, I think if Rangers, they're built for Europe. Philippe Clement has a great record away from home at this moment in time, and I think if they go and shape up like they did against Nice, Olympiacos, Malmo, then they give themselves half a chance. Let's get to some points that are coming in. Make Rangers great again, says, I'm worried about Tav. I think Jeffrey's going to have a tough time up against Amad Diallo, but on the right-hand side, James Tavernier, is he a worry for you, Chris?
Not a worry as such. I think we know what. By now, we know what Tav's good at. We know what he's not good at. We actually had a conversation with a couple of the boys earlier on. We're out for a bit of breakfast, and the point was made that Rangers in general, and perhaps James Tavernier, we're more worried about going to Tannadice than will be coming to Old Trafford, and that just probably highlights where this team is, and where some of these players are. As you touched on there, Rangers have looked really comfortable on this European stage. James Tavernier has looked really comfortable on the European stage. He has produced so many big performances in Europe over the years. So no, I wouldn't have any fears over him as such. It's going to be a test for him. Obviously, United's full of attacking threat. But no, I wouldn't be singling about saying I have a fear over him. I think he would be more than capable of coming in here. And I spoke in the presser last night about what it would mean for him to get a result here. As a grown up a Leeds fan, and a slight bit of added motivation for him there, if you like. But he's not had the same input in terms of attacking numbers or attacking influence this season. I think he'll fancy himself to try and get a goal here tonight.
Yep. Let's run through that Man United team. Chris, you've got it there. There's a big change made in goal. I was hoping that Onana would start this game, but he is not in the starting lineup. Brian Deere, the Turkish goalkeeper, who had a worldie against Arsenal in the FA Cup recently, he is given the nod tonight. Then they go with De Ligt, Martinez, Fernandes, Zirkzee, Eriksen, Yoro, Diallo, Amad Diallo, Garnacho, Dallo and Collier. What do you make of that team? I mean, it is filled with quality players, but as a team, again, it's a team there that doesn't strike me with fear and trepidation about stepping out there tonight.
Like you're disappointed in the choice of goalkeeper. You look at how Onana has failed. I was going to say failed, and almost said failed there. Both are actually quite apt. he's not had a good season.
No.
He's got a mistake in him. I think that's fair. So that's maybe a blow, if you like, from a Rangers perspective. But again, you look at them certainly in an attacking sense. We know that Fernandes is going to have a lot of the ball. Can, like Conor Barron, get close enough to him? You then look at Zirkzee, a lot of money spent on him. We know what Eriksen can do, and also the name that jumps out is Amad Diallo. James Tavernier spoke about him in the press conference last night about what Rangers had actually done for him. It wasn't an overly successful loan, but you look at what he would have learned playing for a big club, the demands, the expectations, the standards. I think he will look back at his time at Ibrox as a real kind of learning curve for him and a really useful time. And you look at his form, he has been one of the brighter aspects of a side that's really been underperformed largely, that's been so inconsistent. He's obviously someone that Rangers are going to have to keep a very close eye on tonight.
Yep, absolutely. No Harry Maguire starting the game as well, which is, again, like Onana, we wanted Maguire to start this game, just given his previous form. The substitutes bench for Man United, I mean, it's blessed with quality as well. Heaton, Onana, Maguire, Malacia, Mazraoui, Casemiro, Mino, Ugarte, Anthony and Højlund. Anthony looks like he's heading out the door, of course, in this transfer window. But you compare both benches and you can see, well, Man United have spent millions upon millions of pounds on their squad, Chris, and they do have a bit of quality on the bench there.
So a stat just before we came into this presser room to do the video, I think since Sir Alex left here, they've spent 1.1 or 1.4 billion pounds on players. Safe to say, they've not got a lot to show for it. Since then, certainly not enough to show for it to justify the outlay. I think it was interesting that their manager was asked yesterday about the similarities between Rangers and Man United right now. That point has been made by a number of people to big clubs, successful clubs, obviously, but it's just not for a variety of reasons on and off the pitch. I'm not in a good space right now. And as you said earlier on, it feels slightly strange saying Man United are there for the taking, but it's a great opportunity for Rangers. And time will tell what they can deliver here. Yep.
There's a point that came in just on a player that someone's a bit concerned about. Where was it? I can't for the life of me find out where it is. But listen, we know Rangers' limitations at times, and Man United do have the quality. They're quite rightly favourites for this game. But I think Rangers have got. I'm just optimistic about this game, given previous results in Europe. I think I'm not too overly concerned about this. I'm more concerned, we touched on earlier, about going up to Tannadice on Sunday, which we all know Rangers have had problems in the domestic game. Conor Barron, huge night for him. There was a point that came in just about that. Andrew Webster rightly says, big night for Conor Barron. He's been off the boil lately, Chris. I think perhaps overplayed when he came in initially, just given the lack of options in midfield. Nico Raskin wasn't available for a spell, and he's just he's lost his way a wee bit. I think he's still a really good acquisition from Aberdeen, and I think he'll be a good player for Rangers. They need him to be on his game tonight and then some.
If Diomande was available, Diomande plays. I think not having him there is certainly a blow for Rangers. I think that Diomande-Raskin partnership works better than a Barron-Raskin partnership. I have no fears at all about Nico Raskin. You would back him to go and put in another impressive performance. As I touched on the show this morning, I think it's a really big night for Bayrami as well, not just Conor Barron. We need more from Bayrami. But now to go back to Andrew's comment, I think it's a big stage for Conor Barron. He did the post-match presser at the weekend after the Fraserburgh game and said the Rangers should have no fear coming here. It's a big step up from him. When you think back to where he was just a few months ago, trying to re-establish himself at Aberdeen, having done so and then had a difficult time knowing that he was going to leave. I think he started his Rangers career well overall, but this is a big step up for him. But you look back at some of the other European performances that he's put in. I've written a couple of pieces about this on Barron over the last couple of months. I still think there's a good Rangers player in there, a good perhaps more of a squad player rather than a starting player. But I think it's a big night for all of these players. They all want to come here. They want to put on a show. They want to rise to the occasion. They want to win the individual battle first and foremost, and then obviously try and win the game. And if Rangers can win more of those individual battles, I think there's this kind of growing optimism and this feeling amongst the fans that this side can actually get something here tonight.
It's not only a big night for Conor Barron, but Nadeem Bayrami hasn't really kicked the ball lately, has he? Rangers need him to have a proper display tonight and show why he was brought to the club in the first place. It didn't cost a few bob. They spent a bit of money on him. You'd like to think this is an occasion that he'll relish, surely.
It's the sort of match where if you're going to go and spend money on a number 10, you need a number 10 to perform. Again, we spoke a lot towards the end of last season about how that number 10 role hadn't quite worked or wasn't quite working. Obviously, Cantwell then moved on. Tom Lawrence is there, was never going to be the answer this season. It is a big night for Bayrami. This is the type of occasion. If you're going to go and invest in a player the way that Rangers have done, they need him to be performing in nights like this. Again, if Giannis Hadji had been available, would Bayrami have played? Maybe not. If the deal had been available, would Bayrami have played? Maybe not. But they're not. He is. He's the man that's got the jersey. He's the man that's got the chance. And if you can't go and turn it on a stage and an occasion like this, then you're at the wrong football club, unfortunately, because this is the type of game that Rangers should be aspiring to get to all the time. Indeed, it's a big game. They need to go and put in a big performance.
Yep, let's hope they do. Right, folks, we'll wrap up there. A big thank you to you all for tuning in to the show. That Rangers team once again, Butland in goal, back in between the sticks in place of Liam Kelly, Tavernier, Balogun, Proper and Jefty at the back, Raskin and Barron in the middle, Cherny, Bayrami and Ridvan behind Hamza Igaman up top. On the bench for Rangers, Kelly, Munn, Dessers, Lawrence, Dowell, King, McCausland, Royce, Lovelace, Curtis, Ensio and Hutton. Let's hope Rangers can go and do the business out there at what they call the Theatre of Dreams. We will be back, myself and Joshua, shortly after the full-time whistle tonight. We hope you can join us for that. But until then, I hope your team wins and we'll speak to you a little later on. Bye for now.